Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are returning to the English Civil War, and this time for the Battle of Brentford. So this is just a smallish battle that I found online that took place, and so today we're going to be recreating it. If you haven't already, do please like and subscribe. Also go and check us out on Facebook so you can always be kept updated on when new videos are coming out, and you can also share what you're working on. So the rules that we're using today are the set which I created. They're called Warts and All, and they're available on my Coffee channel. If you head over there, you'll find it. The rules themselves, very easy to learn. They've got a random army builder mechanic, so you can either play a historical battle with orders of battle, or you can just have random battles created, quite literally, at random, different numbers of troops on either side, so you never have a battle which is quite the same. So as for the forces, the Royalists are played by Steve, and both of the armies actually came up pretty similar. The only difference really is he has 2 artillery pieces versus my 1, and I'm playing as the Parliamentarians. But apart from that, more or less equal. I've got 2 dragoon regiments, whereas he's only got 1 dragoon regiment. So to the battle. Town in the centre, we've got the Royalists and the Parliamentarians facing off. We randomly rolled for forces and we've got pretty well evenly matched. The Royalists have 2 dragoons and 1 cuirassier regiment versus the Parliamentarians, who have cuirassiers, regular sort of roundhead cavalry, and 1 dragoon. The Royalists also have 1 extra artillery piece, but that's about the difference. So both of us really have the same plan overall, and that is to seize the town in the centre. So I charge forwards with my dragoons and get them into there, whilst he's using his more ponderous cavalry to try and flank around, whilst his infantry move into the town to try and dislodge my dragoons. So in turn 2, we saw the infantry on both sides keep pressing the advance. The dragoons dismounted from the Parliamentarians in the centre, and they tried a shot at the enemy commander but missed. The Royalist artillery fired back but missed, and so it was basically a bit of a useless turn for shooting, but the forces are approaching one another. So with his cavalry starting to flank round, I form up my infantry and cavalry with protected flanks, whilst my dragoons, as I said, they fan out within the village to start putting shots down onto his troops as they approach through the fields. What I did notice that for the first few turns, rather than firing with his artillery piece, he's been moving them forwards, and then this turn was the first time for him to start shooting at us. So as turn 4 comes to an end, our Parliamentarian gun got into play but missed. However, our troops in the town are now putting down some good fire onto the approaching Royalists. The Royalists have returned fire, but both sides were kind of ineffectual this turn. The big threat is the Royalist cavalry, who are swinging around onto the Parliamentarians' left flank. So at this stage, the Royalist cavalry saw their opportunity and they charged, and in the centre their infantry closed with the town itself. So this was our first turn of real hand-to-hand combat, where one side was going to start to hopefully obliterate the other. A lot of close range fire, a lot of casualties. Here's 1 regiment of cavalry were swinging around to head towards my artillery piece, and so I was also able to get a couple of shots in on them. So at the end of turn 5, in the centre of the town, the pikemen were able to force back the dismounted dragoons, who then routed. Everywhere else, the Parliamentarians have pushed forwards, so it's still a reasonably strong position in the village. Over on the Parliamentarian left, the combined cavalry charged, pushed back their cuirassiers, or the cuirassiers of the Parliamentarians, but they didn't break. Parliamentarians swung the pikes round into the flank of the Royalist cavalry. Cuirassiers did win the combat and forced them back, so it was a bit of an interesting turn. So despite quite a heroic defence by my dragoons, in the centre his forces now were starting to overwhelm and push us back. I was starting to lose a lot of troops. My dragoons had broken, pretty well were obliterated, and yeah, his troops were occupying more and more of the terrain. My 2nd Dragoon Regiment were putting up a good defence, but they were as themselves getting worn down, and his troops flanking around as well were now starting to put in a lot of pressure. So turn 6 saw some heavy fighting in the town. Troops were pushed back and routed from both sides, so it is completely open ground for both sides at this stage. On the left, the Royalist cavalry was routed back, and this one block of Parliamentarian pikemen just bowled their way through the cuirassiers. But as far as overall cohesion of the armies, the Parliamentarians are definitely suffering heavier casualties, so this next turn could be the deciding factor. So in turn 7's shooting phase, and then melee phase, during the shooting, one of the sharpshooters from the Parliamentarian Dragoons picked off the wing commander of the Royalists. Then as we jump forwards to our cavalry charge / melee, our Parliamentarian cuirassiers charged. They rode down the artillery piece and then were able to capture the Royalist leader. With that, we decided that the game was over because it was unlikely that the Royalists would be able to take enough victory points to win. So a hard-fought battle, but a Parliamentarian victory. So, Parliamentarian victory. A very close run thing. Historically, it was a Royalist victory. As you can see there, it was fought on the 12th of November, 1642. Anyway, if you've enjoyed watching the battle and you want to support the channel, go over to the Coffee channel and you can either pick up some of the rules or just leave a donation. It all helps to keep going back into the channel for more videos. Anyway, once again, thanks guys, I hope you take care and see you next time.